Welcome to Afra's Artifacts, where we do some archaeology of our own and dig into the queer side of Star Wars. I'm your host, Alia Morgaine, and it's so great to have you here. Well, today we're talking of MSE-6 and Men, a short story written by Glen Weldon, found in the From a Certain Point of View, A New Hope edition. It is a fantastic story about gay male romance. And I just love it so much. It's wonderfully inventive. It's from the point of view of an MSE droid, of a mouse droid, designation MSE-6 G735Y. We frequently see the droid go through diagnostic checks, and when I first saw this, it was a bit daunting, but man, the story just gets you hook, line, and sinker and just drags you in. And it is a joyous ride. So the main character besides the droid is TK421, who you may recognize, and we'll get to that in a minute. TK421 takes care of G7, which is what he calls his droid, and he has this sweet dream of putting his droid on the Coruscanti racing circuit because he says it's the fastest droid around. And there's frequent talk of racing stripes, how it looks like he has racing stripes. And putting racing stripes on him, and it's just adorable. But we're here for the queerness, not for the droid adorableness. So let's talk a little bit about this clandestine office romance between an unidentified Imperial Officer and stormtrooper TK421. It's basically a lust story, although you feel that towards the end of the story, some feelings are starting to come out, so maybe it's a little more than lust, but it definitely starts out that way. So their relationship, the relationship between the officer and TK421, starts off with G7 running full throttle into the officer and knocking a hollow recording of TK421 loose. In this hollow recording, he is examining a large pimple on his face. So the reaction that the officer has is not what he would have expected. The officer says, "Who is he? He's beautiful." And so the officer sets up a clandestine arrangement by way of G7, throughout which the poor droid is subjected to multiple shutdowns to prevent recording of what's going on. And the droid experiences lots of confusion about losing time, and the poor thing is just totally bonkers towards the end of this. Just doesn't know what's going on. So when TK421 gets the message back from the officer to come meet him in his quarters, TK421 says, "How to play it, though? That's the question. My next move is crucial, G7. I can't come on too strong because he wants to be in control. That much is clear. And he's certainly not being coy about his intentions. So direct, but not aggressive, not tradey. Still, I should probably butch it up a bit though, right? No, yeah, I should. He's a gray suit. He went through the academy. They always want the whole backwater, rough around the edges military grunt thing, you know? Oh my, sir, I ain't never done this before. Trust me, I know his type. Helmet off, I think, for this, G7. Give him something to get him started." Oh, I love it. So you see at the beginning that maybe there's sort of, I'm sorry, my cat is all up in my business. That there is a bit of ulterior motives by TK421. He wants him and his droid to advance, to have better positions, that sort of thing. But then we hear him say this. He's got this shell, you know, this icy exterior. He has to. Everything's riding on him. But with me, he can drop it and just be himself. We talk about the silliest stuff, G7, afterward, during sometimes. He says I'm the only one who can make him laugh. It's sweet. What I'm saying, G7, is if you can hang in there just a bit longer, we'll be out of here. And between you and me, look, G7, you're just going to have to trust me on this. There's some stuff that you don't need to see, frankly. Human being stuff. Complicated. Messy. So he does get transferred to guard duty. And this is only for him to be, and this is where you may recognize his name, killed by Luke, so that the young hero could don his armor. Yes, TK-421 is the stormtrooper that Luke kills to take his armor from. And when the officer finds out what happened, he's so mad. And you start to see how much he cares for TK-421. He says, "Your master, little droid, he's dead, murdered by rebel scum. Stole his armor and stuffed that rather remarkable body of his in a crawl space. I want you to know they will pay. In mere seconds, this station will annihilate the last pitiful dregs of the rebellion, and your master will be avenged." He was cleverer than he let on. He thought I didn't notice, but, oh well. I had such plans for him, you know. For us. Such plans. And then he says to the droid, "Today, little one, today you are no lowly repair and maintenance droid. Today and today only, for your master's sake, you shall stand witness to the awesome destructive power of this battle station." And we all know what happens next. The Death Star gets destroyed. And so this ends up being a slightly morbid and super sad story because both parties involved perish. So that's it for the story. Like I said, it's wonderful. It's so much fun to read. And there is the question of, why did it have to be secret? Why did it have to be a clandestine romance? And there are lots of questions that go along with that, lots of different points to consider. But I'm going to save that for a later video because there are other short stories and books that I want to bring into it to really discuss it in a more full way. So it's not really a model relationship, but it's certainly realistic. I mean, here in the southeastern U.S., sometimes you, unfortunately, feel like you have to hide that you're queer. And then there's a whole part about TK-421 putting on a facade to have him like him better. And while that's also not exemplary at all, it is reality in some cases. So comment down below on what you think about TK-421 and this unidentified Imperial Officer. And throw out some things that you think about maybe why it had to be secret. And I'll bring that into my discussion later on about the Empire and queerness. So remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at AliaMorgain, and peruse my blog at thestarwarsreview.blogspot.com. New content every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. May the Force be with you.